We finished off yesterday, or not yesterday, we finished off Friday with, I think we skipped one of those. Which one did we skip, or did we finish them all?
I think we were in the middle of 7. No, we did 4.
We didn't do 7. We were in the middle of 7. We didn't start 7.
We didn't do 6.
We didn't do 6, but we did 3, 4, 5?
Yeah.
All right.
Really pulled up the P chart, and then we stopped.
Right. That's right. Okay. Sorry, I've got 2 different class periods, so you guys have to remind me. Yep. All right. So we've got the vertex and the focus. We figure out whether or not it's horizontal or vertical. We figure out our value of A. We figure out our values of H and K. Those are our goals in order to finish number 6. Then we'll do 7. Since I didn't realize there were only a couple of problems, it's going to be very easy for us to finish up this worksheet finally, and then you'll have your homework tonight. Aaron? Yes. Yes. Why? How to do what? The whole thing? We've been taking it over the course of the last 90 minutes of class time, Aaron. If you have any more difficulties, either email me questions or find some other resources. So, the vertex is 0, 0. The focus is 0, negative 3. So here's the vertex. Here's the focus. Which way does this parabola face? Faces down. Okay, it is a vertical parabola, and it faces downward. Because remember, the parabola wants, the focus has to be inside the parabola. So it's going to face downward. It eats the focus. If we were to use elementary type descriptions, yes. Okay. So since it is vertical, it's a y equals a x minus h squared plus k. We're using that. But we've got h and k. What are our h and k? 0, 0 is the vertex. So we need to figure out our a. So what do we set 1 over 4a equal to? 3. And it's going to be a positive or negative a value. Why is it negative? Because it's facing down. Remember, if it's facing down or facing left, it's negative. If it's facing up or facing right, it's positive. So 1 over 4a is equal to 3. So let's get our a value. What do? Aaron, to solve for a slowly but surely. What do we do to get a by itself? Multiply by 4a. We want to get the whole thing out of the denominator. So now I have 1 is equal to 12a. Getting ahead of myself. 1 is equal to 12a. Tim, what do? Get a by itself? By
12.
By 12. A is equal to 1/12. So now we've got everything we need. Y is equal to negative 1/12. X minus 0 squared plus 0. They were so lazy in theirs that they did the 0, 0 thing constantly in this worksheet. It's ridiculously easy. I almost feel like we should do some of the C ones. Maybe we will do. If we've got extra time, we're going to flip to the side C and do some of those. Johnny? Because of the fact that the parabola, in order for the focus to be inside, the parabola will have to face down, which means the a value must be negative. We don't need the 0, 0, so we could just put y is equal to negative 1/12 x squared. Either one of those solutions is fine. Okay, so you guys need one little note to put in your notes for the value of p. It's actually very easy what p is.
Whoa. Bro, I could solve quantum physics now.
P is equal to 1 over 4a.
Bro, I'm gonna solve.
And then 4p.
Yes. No, 4.
1 over 4a. With that. Bro, I know
1
the
over
graphic,
4p
but
equals a,
can't
but still. 1 over 4p equals a. 4p equals 1 over a.
4p equals a.
No.
1 over 4p equals a.
Yes. All right. So p is equal to 1 over 4a. P is simply that distance that we keep talking about from the vertex to the directrix or from the vertex to the focus. That is what p is, but to me there is just no reason to bring in an extra letter. We've been dealing with a. A is going to stay there, so why not just leave it a? Why redefine some letter p? So now we do the last two problems, well, last two pure algebraic problems. And then we'll do the word problems. All right. So let's go ahead and turn this into something we know. And I don't care. We're good. We'll be all right. We'll be all right. So they have this here. Let's go ahead and add 1 to both sides. We have x equals negative 1/12 y squared plus 1. We have to compare this to our chart. We are going to compare this to our chart until we get used to it. Is this a horizontal or vertical parabola? Horizontal, because it's an x equals. So it's either facing right or it's facing left. One of the two. Okay, it's facing left. Why is it facing left? Because of the negative. So it's facing to the left. Where is the vertex? There is also, I don't know how much room this is going to take up. Where is the vertex? Gabriel?
0, 1. 1, 1.
Not 0, 1. 1, 0.
How? Oh, wait, yeah.
Because that's their reverse. That's my H. That is my H. My H is 1. My K is whatever number is attached to the Y, but there is nothing there, so it's 0. If you wanted, we could have written it like this. This is going to take up a lot of room. Okay. We could have written it like that. So anyway, so our vertex is at 1, 0. Count by 2s again. They're annoying. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Vertex is at 1, 0. We need the value of p. It wants the value of p. P is equal to 1 over 4a. P is equal to 1 over 4a. What is my a? Negative 1/12. I want you guys to digest that for a second. The way that looks. 1 over 4 times negative 1/12. I want you to be okay with it because we're going to start working with it for a second. And hopefully we're going to be okay with it. So let's resolve the denominator first. 4 times negative 1/12 is what? Yes. Negative 1 over 3. 4 times a 12th. If I have a 12th, a 12th, a 12th, and a 12th, that makes a third. Okay? Because I'll have 4 twelfths. If you want, you could consider that over 1, multiply straight across. We have negative 4 over 12. 1 over negative 4 over 12.
So it's 1 over negative.
Which is 1 over negative 1/3, which is negative 3. Sydney? Got a problem with that? You sure? I don't mind.
I don't mind either. I just don't have a problem.
All right. You're giving that fraction the stank eye, so I was wondering.
Nah, just ugly.
Okay. This pattern, these types of patterns are going to continue. Johnny?
I just want to know why it's like
So this is saying how many times does 1/3 go into 1? It goes in 3 times.
What times the
That's not standard. Okay? All right. So my p-value is activate Windows.
P equals activate Windows?
Yep. Okay. My p-value is 3, which means I've got something going on here at 4, and I've got something going on here at -2, because I go 3 away in both directions.
Wait.
Which one of those has got to be the focus, and one of those has got to be the directrix. Which way did we say it opens?
left.
It opens left, so therefore, this is my directrix, and this is my focus. It's the logic portion. This is a section that's difficult for students if we can't follow the logic behind it. I don't mind slowing down, waiting. We've only got one more problem. We hit these word problems. The word problems aren't too bad, though. So we got the whole time to just digest this and ask questions. I've got no problem here. Are we okay with how we found the vertex? That's at 1, 0 because of HK. I showed you guys where K was hidden at since it just said y squared. It didn't say y minus 0 squared, but we could put that. It opens to the left because of the fact it's x equals, and because A is negative. That means opens to the left. And then we solve for P. P is the distance from the vertex to the focus and the vertex to the directrix. P is equal to 1 over 4a. So we set that equal, solved. Those are all the pieces to it. Any questions? We're going to do it again in a second. So let's actually get a sketch of the actual parabola. And I'm not going to worry too much about it. 3 is kind of far away, which means it's probably a bit of a fatter parabola. So I'm just going to kind of go like that. And my vertex is off on that parabola. There we go. I'm just looking for a quick sketch. I don't need an XY chart or anything. I'm just drawing a parabola that went through that vertex and is eating the focus.
Good. Then you would be on. Oh, like the beginning. Just like this.
Why don't I give you guys 2 minutes? I'll start you off on number 8. I'm going to subtract that 2 to both sides. Way up here, I'm going to write y equals 1/4 x minus 1 squared minus 2. Is this one vertical or horizontal? Vertical. Y equals. So why don't you guys take 2 minutes, see if you can't solve number 8 on your own. Florian says no. It's because he left his last host mom. And she was on him, made sure he did his work. Did you have a good time Saturday, Madeline? Good. I had a great time. Never do that. I said no. He was only out there for like 30 seconds.
He told me about the conversation.
We were dancing or like, whatever, and then he was like, oh, I want to go to the restaurant. Wait a minute.
Is that what he said? Yeah. When Nick gets back. Right there. So where's the vertex? You don't know? It's at HK. What's H and K? The one in parentheses, you go opposite sign, Tim. So the vertex is going to be 1, -2. Okay.
Why is it 1? Because
It's in the air. In the parentheses, it's whenever it's in the parentheses like this, it's going to be the opposite sign.
so
Now be careful because when it's this one, it's swapped. See how it's H and K is here. This one H and K is there. So just watch out for that.
So the vertex says use the
1, -2. Okay. 1.
and is it horizontal?
It's Y equals. So it's like this. I mean, yeah, it opens.
Yeah, the focus needs to be somewhere.
Well, it's you got a line going on. Nick's out right now. Tim has to go. Then you. So, what's 4 times the 4th?
And 4.
No.
No.
We did that.
The 16.
No. 4 times 1/4.
We changed it with Romeo and Juliet.
1.
1. And what's 1 over 1? 1. So you're going to go 1 up and 1 down, which is careful because it's counting by 2. So it's here and here. And then is this one facing up or down? Up. That's positive. Good. So this is the directrix, and this is the focus. And then it's facing up.
Okay.
How did you know this was directrix?
Because the fact that this was -1/12, I knew it opened left, which means the directrix had to be on the right. So here, our A value is positive, so our parabola is facing which direction? Up, which means our directrix has to be below the parabola. So the vertex and the directrix, or sorry, the focus and the directrix are 1 below and 1 above. So from that dot you go 1 above, from that dot you go 1 below. Correct. Correct. Tim, you're up for the bathroom.
No, I did the work.
All right, guys. That's enough time. So we should have gotten our vertex is at 1, -2.
Yeah. Oh, because it's inside the parentheses, so it just opposite.
Yes. Okay. Inside that parentheses, we go opposite. So it's 1, -2 is our vertex. Our p-value. Our p is 1 over 4 times 1/4. 4 times a 4th is 1. So our p-value is simply 1. So I go 1 above and 1 below. This is an upward-facing parabola. Oh, Dylan. This is an upward-facing parabola, therefore our directrix must be below. That makes this our focus. Oh, I didn't write them all down over here, sorry. So here our focus was -2, 0. Our directrix was x equals 4. There we go. My fault there. Okay. So over here, our focus is at 1, -1. Our directrix is y equals -3. And then we draw our parabola. Now our p-value is only 1. It's a little closer, so it's going to be a thinner parabola. So I'm going to make it like that. Why not? Yeah. Aaron?
No, not the first year, but
So once you get your p-value, Aaron, your focus and directrix are that far away from the vertex. Your focus and directrix are, so you've got to know whether or not it's horizontal or vertical. So if you get your vertex, your p-value shows you how far away each one is. If it's vertical, it's above and below. If it's horizontal, it's side, left, and right. No, 1/4a is the distance between.
I know, but it's like A tells the distance, so does P.
1/4a tells the distance, so does p. I'm just being. I know. Okay.
I wonder what it would feel like to actually starve to death.
Probably pretty bad, I'd assume. Yes, Johnny. The further away your focus is from the vertex, the wider the parabola is. So.
You've never heard of the Irish
I don't know why, Samuel, but I thought you just said you've never heard about the Irish potato famine where all the potatoes were starving to death?
I don't know, that's not what I meant. But did I say that?
No, I thought you said that.
I
No.
thought I said that too, but that's what it's called, right? The Irish potato famine?
Yeah.
Surprising.
It was actually called the Irish because of the fact that the only thing they were only living on was potatoes. They were having a famine, and the only thing available for produce was potatoes.
And then they got like sick, the potatoes, right? Like,
Oh, I'm sure.
they got like infected and they couldn't eat them.
And then everyone died.
Okay, guys. Shh. Cross sections. Cross sections. You guys know what cross sections are, whether or not you think you don't know what cross sections are. A cross section is when you take an object, a three-dimensional object, and you just like slice it with a laser, and then one side just flops off, and you can see everything inside what it would look like if you just cut it that way, right? So like you see it in anatomy books all the time, a cross section of a pig, and it'll have the pig, but only half of it cut open.
I was also thinking like cooking shows, like when they're making like burgers, they show you the cross section.
Right, that would be a cross section. So the purpose, guys, a very easy use, a very easy application and use of a parabola is a flashlight or a spotlight. A flashlight or a spotlight. If you look at a flashlight, let's go ahead and bring up a picture.
I've never seen a flashlight before.
Really? So, yeah. Let's see if I can't find a good.
Or since you
Yeah,
can't.
what do they do?
I like this picture.
Do they flashlight? They just constantly flashing.
So,
That one cost $120.
right, it just has, but this one has a good.
This is why I've never seen a flashlight. Just
This one has a good.
only for they don't have it only for rich people.
This one's angled so that way I can see inside better. That's why I wanted to bring it up. So a flashlight, guys, if you look at one, if you actually took the shape of a parabola, right? We all know what a parabola looks like, and you spun it on its vertex, you'd get the shape inside of a flashlight. Yes? Cool. So if you take that focus. The focus is where, when they place the light bulb inside of a flashlight, when they're designing it, the actual filament that lights the flashlight is supposed to be at the location of the focus. So the focus is, the focus is where that light bulb is. The vertex is where the light bulb plugs into. The focus is there. And what that does, because a light bulb just shines outward, right? It doesn't care. It's not directed at all. It is not directed at all. But what the focus allows it to do, because of the fact that this is a parabola, the flashlight shines the light outward in all these directions, and then it hits the parabola, the shiny part outside of it, and that directs it straight out of the flashlight. That's what makes it direct the light where exactly you want it to go. It's because of the fact that they've designed it using the focus of a parabola, and they put a parabola around it. Math, real life, this is where it comes in. All right, manufacturing. I'm not saying you guys are going to go out and become flashlight manufacturers, but what I am saying is that you guys need to understand that the applications of math are used everywhere in our everyday lives. So, you weren't on your phone? No? What did you pull out to put on your lap? Ah.
Mr.
Okay.
Bates, when you have your camera thing up, you can't throw that at us anymore.
Do you want to bet? So, guys, all it takes is like you'll know when it's coming because you'll just see Mr. Bates take 3 steps. I'm clear.
You just hear screams.
Screaming. What is a horror movie? Oh my God! The horror.
Literally all we have to say is like a really bad word, and then YouTube will be like, okay, that's a no bueno. You're gonna get demonetized.
That's great. Oh, I'm not monetized as it is. Okay.
I was about to say, you don't have enough subscribers.
So guys, here. So it says the spotlight, if the bulb is 6 inches, the bulb is... Shh. Refocus, please. Okay? The bulb is 6 inches from the vertex. The bulb is 6 inches from the vertex. So it's telling you the focus is 6 inches from the vertex.
That was my question.
Because that's why I brought up that picture. The light bulb is the focus. The light bulb is the focus. So P equals 6. So if I were to draw a little diagram for A, okay, it says the vertex is at the origin. The vertex is at the origin, 0, 0. And then it says the bulb is 6 inches from.
Yeah.
So, the focus is 0, 6. So what does 1 over 4a equal? 6.
Because you already know the distance.
Yeah. So a is equal to? Just 1 over 24. Yeah. All right, we're done. So here, y equals 1 over 24. We actually don't need the parentheses. Well, I'll put the x minus 0. You can reduce that if you'd like. You can reduce it if you'd like.
So it'd be 24 because it'd be 4 over 1 times 1 over 24, and 4 divided by 24 is...
It's just 6 times 4.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, I get it.
Okay. Yes.
Probably good on A's. Kids watch cartoons. But it never depends on which direction they
It doesn't. It doesn't. But it doesn't matter because you can hold the flashlight any way you like.
I think that was one of the biggest discrepancies of
That you can hold a flashlight any direction you like?
No, that there's negative numbers.
Oh.
In like the third grade, I was like,
There still are negative numbers.
these multiplication facts are freaking easy, boys. Kids in the fourth grade, bro. What are negative numbers?
So they give you negative numbers in fourth grade?
No, I don't know.
I got them in sixth grade. Like integers.
All right.
I didn't learn that.
Oh, like I feel like sixth grade. Way too late.
B is a little bit more. B is a little bit more. So if the spotlight, so we're still going off of this picture right here. Going to go a little further. I'm just redrawing it. So at the opening, the spotlight, so if you guys have that flashlight, come and bring that picture back up. Oh, I don't have them up anymore. Maybe. Okay. Sure. I'll bring up this one.
How expensive is this?
I don't know. Now they're saying spotlight. I'm going to say flashlight. So they said the diameter of the flashlight or the spotlight is 36 inches. 36 inches. So the radius is 18. Okay. It's saying how deep, find the depth of the spotlight. So we still have the same setup. The focus is 6 inches away from the vertex. What is the depth of the spotlight if at the diameter, it's 36 inches? So 1/24 x squared is, 1/24 x squared is my, actually we are going to use that, is my equation. We okay so far still from part A? So as Sydney said, that makes our radius 18, our diameter is 36. So at some point, our x value has to be what?
36. 18.
18. Our x value, so way out here, somewhere at 18, there's some width to this thing. There's some depth, some height to it. So at 18 is our x value. 18 is our x value. When we plug in 18, we get how deep the spotlight is. Spotlight's like this. How deep is it? Plug in 18.
Okay.
18 squared divided by 24.
18 squared. I don't have big
Yeah, no. It's a big brain.
I don't feel like doing that.
What, having a big brain?
13.5 inches.
Wait, that's not. Wait.
That's 18 squared divided by 4.
Correct. Would you like me to put all the steps?
Yeah.
I just want to know what 18 squared is.
324.
Out of 18 thing. Sorry, it's not like someone was just like, here's the square root 18, remember I did.
So somebody asked me, I think Johnny asked me, how do I know, to make it a thinner parabola or wider? This one, the distance, our p-value in this is 6. That's huge. And it goes to show that if I plug in 18 for x, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. If I plug in 18 for x, it goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and a half.
That's wide.
That's how wide my parabola would have to be.
Yeah.
Flip it on.
Okay? That is my spotlight. And I actually don't mind this There we go. Yes. Somebody's out right now.
When they come back.
Sure. Yes, no, maybe so. We good?
Yes.
Okay. So 13.5-inch depth spotlight. We've got time for you guys before you start your homework. Besides that, nobody has textbooks and I didn't print anything out. So let's do a little bit of side C. 7 on side C. I've got a line. Oh, you have to go a while ago. She's up first. She has to go a while, but as soon as whoever's gone is back.
Bro, I want to ask, like, to get in this line. Something to do.
You know what? You reminded me right now that Phineas and Ferb episode where Candace was determined, of course, to bust them, as always, and she finally realized that it's always because she's too late to going out, like in the back, to find out what they're doing. So instead, she decides to like go over to like stay overnight, so that way when they finally go back there and decide what they're doing today, she'll catch them and bust them. And so she goes out there and like she falls asleep by the tree, and then the next morning she wakes up and there's a person there, and she's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, and he says his name or whatever, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" "Well, I thought you're starting a line. And I want to get in line too." And then like this line just grows,
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
waiting.
So you watch Phineas and Ferb?
So-
Bro, I do remember.
Wait, why'd you watch Phineas and Ferb?
I got kids.
I love how the YouTube video got everything.
Like, yeah, the YouTube video got everything. We were watching Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, copyright claim.
Bro, I just go home. Look
It's
at
not a
that.
Minecraft video, like a class Minecraft video.
I have a home Minecraft server. I haven't opened it in a long time.
Let me join.
Let me join. Come on.
Dude, I'm telling you, I think it won't sing.
Bro,
We've-
we'll lose a bunch of math on my house.
I've spent so long on that thing
I,
between my boys and I. Like they don't do much. They do ridiculous things on it. I don't know. Tim would barely get on it. They always just get on and then run around in the towns that I've built and like attack each other. That's all they do.
I would be honored to join your Minecraft.
That's the
I would
that's
be
that's the only time I put on creative mode is when they get on there to do that, because then like
You make sure they're not breathing.
then yeah, well no, then I chase them.
Wait, is it in survival? So you did the whole thing in survival?
Yeah. I do all my building in survival, and then but then when they want to get on and play, because then I'll teleport them. I've got a floating lava arena, so they can't.
Bro, this dude's place is sick.
Nobody can exit.
Let me join.
But, however, he doesn't allow us to play because he constantly summons zombies.
So
Just whisper the name of it and then like,
anyhow,
join there.
it's been a long time. I wonder how I could actually even pull it onto, if I could even show it on this computer at all. Anyhow, guys, so Amanda asked for number 7.
Hopefully that one doesn't have a 0 0.
It doesn't. This one doesn't have a 0, 0, so I like it. I like it because it doesn't, because the AB side had a bunch of 0, 0 vertices amongst all its parabolas, so then all of a sudden you get to your homework and you'd be like, wait a minute, this doesn't look the same. Yeah. Oh, it still counts by 2s. That's annoying. Still.
I hate that it counts by 2.
Okay, Alexa, go ahead. All right, guys. So what's our So first of all, is it sideways or is it is it horizontal or vertical? Horizontal. It's x equals. Where is Adrian? Where is my vertex? Adrian. What is my vertex? This is on side C. Aaron? Close. 2, -3. Aaron, it's swapped because of the fact this is an x equals. Okay? So it's 2, -3. There's my vertex. Let's figure out the p-value. P is equal to 1/4a. So what is my A? 1/2? What's half of 4? Okay. So that's obnoxious, but it's nothing terrible. So my focus and my directrix are only a half away from my vertex. My focus and my directrix are only half away from my vertex. Now this is sideways facing. Is it opening left or right? It's opening to the right because I have a positive 1/2. So my focus is going to be a half away from my vertex. My directrix is going to be half away from my vertex as well. Super tight. So somebody tell me, what is the coordinate of my focus? What is the coordinate? What is the coordinate of that? It's half away from the vertex. Aaron? 2.5. 2.5, negative 3. 2.5, negative 3. What is the equation of my directrix? X equals 1.5. X equals 1.5. A half away. So where this is, remember, this is 1 right here. So that's 1.5. And then I'll have a very thin parabola.
Mucho Delgado.
Nothing too bad.
Going nap for lunch period.
Any what?
Going nap for lunch period.
No. Any others on side C you guys think? I got time for one more maybe. Yeah.
Letters, number C. Bro, that made me mad. That makes me mad. That's a big pet peeve. When someone says number, like number B.
For the direction was, that was the focus.
Bro, there's like a set of number B.
Where the focus is now, that was the direction. How would you know where to put it?
Letters and numbers.
So since this opened to the right, the directrix had to be on the left. That's all. That's all there is to it. Whichever way it opens, the directrix is on the opposite side of that. Whichever way it opens. All right. Sounds like you guys are degenerating.
We're degenerates.
I didn't say you're degenerates. I said you're degenerating.